Let's look at how we can create our own interactive SeeSaw activities. The process isn't really hard, it's just a little tedious and time consuming. The good thing to know is that once you have the activity created, you can use it over and over again and you can share it with others as well. So the first thing you're going to need to do is find the activity that you want to make interactive and have it in a digital form. So whether that means you scan it or take a screenshot, but you want it to be of fairly good quality. So what you're going to be doing is taking little screenshots of pieces of this particular, in this case, a worksheet. And so you can use the Command Shift 4, and then you can drag a box around the area that you want. And then when you let go, it will do a screenshot of that for you and it will put it on your desktop. Now, for some of the other items that might be a little bit smaller, you could certainly zoom up to make it a little easier for you, again, to do the Command Shift 4 and take a screenshot of each one of these little pieces. So you're going to continue on with that and do a screenshot of each piece. Now, what I did to make my life a little bit easier, on my desktop, because all these pictures would be all over the place, I actually went and made a new folder. So I went File and New Folder, and I called it Screenshots. And then I just was able to drag all of those screenshots into the folder so they're all in one spot. That made it a little easier for me. From there, I'm going to go into my SeeSaw account. Now I really have two options here. I'm in my activity library and I can create a new activity or I can edit an existing activity. One of the advantages of copying and editing an existing activity is the fact that the directions are there and you just need to change the directions as opposed to starting totally from scratch. So for example, if I click this activity and I click on the three dots in the lower right hand corner, I can say copy and edit activity, and then I already have these instructions in here. So I can change the title of this, and then I can go down here to where this says this template is attached, and I can take that off, and I can also delete my recording that I had in there. But for this, I'm going to add a template for student responses. And I'm going to choose a drawing. And from there, I want to add my pictures that I did, all my little screenshots. So I'm going to go to Upload. And because I nicely put these in a folder, they're easy for me to find in my screenshots here. And I can do a Command A to select them all. Okay, that shortcut Command A. And then when I click on Open, they're going to show up onto my drawing. Now, keep in mind, this is a little bit overwhelming because they are all stacked up on top of each other. And it's okay, you're just going to kind of move them around on your screen. So I know this is kind of the bigger area that I want here. And then some of these are what the students are going to fill in. So I need to make those a little bit tinier and move them around so that students could drag them into the correct spot. Now I can tell from this that I need to make my original box bigger because this won't actually fit in there when students drag. So again, this is not hard. This is just a matter of playing around a little bit and getting the correct size. So it's tedious, it's not hard. Okay, now that I have things resized and kind of moved around on my screen, now I want to put in some of the extra commands and maybe directions, those kinds of things. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this box where I want this to remain permanent and not be moved when students are working on this. So when I select it, there's three little dots down here on the bottom. I'm going to click on those three dots. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say send to back. I want this to be in the back so that if I bring something else over, so for example, this, I want this to be on top of it, not go underneath. So that's the one thing I'm going to do. And then I'm going to click on the three dots again, and this time I'm going to choose lock. And now it says it's locked, so I can't move this around. Now you can certainly do some other things here to, change the appearance of these. If you want this to look a little better, by all means add those in there. If you want to add a title up at the top, certainly do that. I could do the same thing with this too. I could lock this so that they don't accidentally move that around as well. So at this point, if I have things the way I would like, then I can use the green check mark. And then you can see that the template is attached here for the student. Then I can check my directions here. Do I want them to be modified at all? So I've modified those directions to fit this activity. The other directions had things about the ice cream scoop in there, so I took those out. And then I re-recorded the directions, the student directions for this particular activity. So at this point, I am ready to save. And then I have this activity that's now in my activity library that I can assign.